What's going on, YouTube people and my fellow subscribers and YouTube world? My name is Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. Bring y'all the Juice Alert today. Back with another great video for you guys today. Be sure to hit that like button right now if you're rocking me. Subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos like this weekly and almost every single day, whether it be NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, all that good stuff. Even a little bit of MLB. I cover that some of that stuff. And turn on the post notifications too. You don't want to get caught lacking in these streets. You don't want to miss a video. All right, look. We're previewing the Auburn Tigers football schedule this year. You know, Auburn, I have a little bit of mixed emotions on this Auburn football team. So we're just going to dive right into it and break down game by game on their schedule. I'm going to see where I can find some wins and losses based on what I've seen from last year and based on what they're bringing in this year and who they return. So Auburn, just to talk about their season last year, obviously had a a big win over Washington. Week 1 of the season, I mean, Washington was a top 10 team all year. I mean, man, that says a lot about Washington. I mean, they can't beat the 6th or 7th best SEC team from last year. I mean, what was Auburn, the 6th best SEC team? I mean, Washington, the Pac-12 was terrible. Don't even get me started about that. I mean, I might just... Is the Pac-12 even a conference anymore? Man, Washington. I mean, Oregon, I don't know. Oregon's got to step up to the plate this year, maybe. I don't know. We'll see if they can. But either way, riding high. But you did finish 8-5. You did lose to Tennessee. How did you lose to Tennessee? Tennessee's a terrible team. You also lost to Mississippi State, but you know, 8-5 is not a terrible record. That'll get you to a bowl win. You obviously dominated in that bowl game. I mean, you beat the brakes off Purdue 63-14. I mean, Urban Meyer. How hard is it to beat Purdue and run J.K. Dobbins versus Purdue? Auburn, the 6th best SEC team, can beat Purdue by 1 million points, and you, Urban Meyer, couldn't do it. Oh my God. Oh, that Purdue loss still haunts me. I hope we face them sometime soon in the next couple of years. But either way, getting off topic. Look, Auburn, look, they do return 6 stars on offense. They do return 6 stars on defense. You know, but they do lose Jarrett Stidham this year. Okay, Jarrett Stidham was a very, very good quarterback for them last year. Obviously, you know, he's a very experienced guy. He got drafted to the Patriots in the NFL. Maybe he's the next Tom Brady. Yeet. But either way, you know, Bo Nix, he's the 4th best pocket passer as far as ESPN rankings go. He's a freshman incoming this year. The projected quarterback of most things where I looked at on websites is, I believe, Joey Gatewood, a redshirt freshman. So Auburn's going to have some inexperience at quarterback, but they do return all 5 of their offensive linemen. That's very key. That's going to definitely help in bringing in a new freshman quarterback, especially since Jarrett Stidham was a very experienced guy. I mean, the guy was a senior. He knew the playbook. He pretty much knew where to go with the ball. He knew the offense. So hopefully the Auburn new freshman redshirt quarterbacks or just the overall inexperienced quarterbacks can get up to speed a little bit. You do return Derrick Brown. He's an absolute monster. I mean, he's going to be a top 10 pick easily next year in this draft. You do return Marlon Davidson as well. You know, you return a key DB. I think Auburn's a decent team. I mean, on paper, I mean, they're not clearly a top 10 team to me, but they're a decent team. You got some talent on this roster. You're always going to have a good defense. I mean, Gus Malzahn, man, I don't know how I feel about Gus Malzahn. I mean, Auburn fans thought that, you know, a couple years ago, they were saying, fire Gus Malzahn. Then he goes out and beats Alabama and Georgia. And then they're saying, Gus Malzahn is the best coach in the world, man. I mean, you don't know what you're getting from this Auburn offense, but Gus Malzahn is going to apparently be calling the plays. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, Gus Malzahn has a foot out the door pretty much with some of these Auburn fans. I mean, but you really can't fire Gus Malzahn because you got to have that big buyout. I mean, you paid him that big contract. You're going to owe him a lot of money if you buy him out and fire him. So we don't even know what's happening with Auburn's offense. But hey, let's just jump right into the schedule. You open up with a big game in Arlington, Texas on a neutral site field versus the Oregon Ducks. I am very high on them. You also face Tulane and Kent State the first 3 games of the season. That Oregon game you're losing. Look, can you beat Oregon? Yes. Can you pull a Washington from last year? And hey, is the Pac-12 inept to beating SEC teams? Yes, potentially. But I think this Oregon team is different. Oregon is a very, very good team. They have an NFL quarterback in Justin Herbert. You're not going to be facing a Jake Browning. This Oregon team is better than that Washington team last year. And honestly, I think Auburn might just be as good or a little bit worse. You know, Oregon has a very good offense. I think Justin Herbert's going to light the world on fire. He's a Heisman hopeful. They have a pretty good defense. Oregon honestly should have been ranked at times last year. They let some games get away. I think Oregon is easily the most talented team in their own conference, the Pac-12. I think they beat them. I think that all 3 levels, except potentially defensive line, Auburn is a better football team than you. There will be some Auburn fans at the game because it's going to be played in the South in Arlington. But I just think Oregon's the better team. They're going to win that game. I'm high on Oregon. I think Oregon's going to be a top 10 team most of the year. All right, so the next set of games, you play at Texas A&M, a very tough place to play. You play Mississippi State at home, and you play at the Florida Gators. Man, Florida's lost a ton of recruits this year. Man, that's crazy. Side note. But either way, look, I think you actually go 2-1 in this stretch. I think you lose at Texas A&M. This is going to be the first true road game you play. I understand you're going to be playing on the road a little bit in Arlington, but that's a neutral site field. This is the first true road game. It's obviously very hard for a freshman quarterback going on the road for his first game, I think. I think Texas A&M is a little bit better football team this year than you. Okay, they have Kellen Mond, a pretty good quarterback. They have decent wide receivers. They have a pretty good defense. Jimbo Fisher is a better head coach than Gus Malzahn. Don't even get me started. That gap is wide, okay? You barely beat Texas A&M last year in your house. I think that they'll respond this year and beat you at their house. I think they'll split with you this year. But versus Mississippi State, I think you win that game. You're going to win that game. Look, you lost 23-9 last year. You got absolutely annihilated at their place last year. I mean, I don't think you're going to lose to them back-to-back years. Mississippi State does lose a ton of talent in Montez Sweat, in Jeffrey Simmons, and Jonathan Abraham, and they lose their quarterback Fitzgerald as well. I think you'll win that game at home. And then at Florida, I think you surprised some people by beating Florida this year. Florida has lost a ton of recruits. There's not a 5-star on that Florida roster right now. Now, that was back when I looked a couple weeks ago. That may have changed. They may have gotten a transfer quarterback recruit. But hey, based on what I've seen, Florida does not have any 5-stars left on their roster. They've lost a lot of recruits, okay? I can't really explain how you're going to win this game. It's just that college football is unpredictable. Every time, every now and then, did Florida fans really think they were going to lose to Kentucky last year? I didn't think they were going to lose to Kentucky. Did Florida fans see them losing to Missouri? I didn't see that. I think Auburn is a decent team. I think they're going to win this game. I think their defensive line, listen, Florida loses about four offensive linemen, if I'm not correct. That defensive line for Auburn is going to eat them alive. I think that the new quarterback, they have some very talented quarterbacks on this roster. Don't get me wrong. Auburn's new talented quarterback will do pretty good versus that Florida defense. I think they barely win this game in a defensive shootout. I think they just surprised you. I think Auburn's going to win this game. College football, it's hard for teams. Some teams have some letdowns. I don't know. Sometimes college football is just unpredictable. I think this is just an unpredictable game where Auburn steals a game on the road at Florida. Okay. The next couple games, you play at Arkansas, you play at LSU, and you play Ole Miss at home. You'll go 2-1 that stretch. You'll lose to LSU, definitely. You're going to beat Arkansas. You're going to beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a terrible team. Arkansas, pretty much the same thing. Listen, at LSU, you lost to them when you played them at home last year. I was very shocked by that. I thought Auburn was going to win that game. Listen, I think LSU's actually going to be better than they were last year. Okay, look, you lost them at your house last year. Their secondary is nasty. They brought in the #1 cornerback in the nation. They have Grant Dilpit. Okay, they have Kevin Joseph in that secondary. Their secondary is one of the 3 best in college football. That defense is going to be nasty. It's going to be hard to play at LSU for a freshman or a new starting quarterback. Okay, Joe Burrow will be even better this year. Okay, Joe Burrow is not an elite quarterback. No, he's not. He's above average. He's an above average quarterback though. However, and look. People forget, Joe Burrow got on campus in late July to early August. I mean, the guy didn't really get a chance to fully sink in the full playbook for LSU this year. I think this year, with him knowing the playbook, him being a little bit more experienced, I think he will be better this year. Not saying Joe Burrow's an elite quarterback, but hey, I think the LSU defense is better than your defense. I think that it's hard to play at LSU. It's a tough place to play. I think you drop that game, okay? But you'll beat Arkansas. You'll beat Ole Miss. And then it brings me to the last 3 games of the season. Georgia at home, Samford, and Alabama at home. Man, other than Samford, those are 2 top 5 teams to me this next coming year. Georgia and Alabama, man. And look, I got you going 2-1 in that stretch. I think you're going to beat Georgia. Listen, Kirby Smart has a history of losing to SEC West teams on the road. You obviously blew the brakes off of them a couple years ago when you made the SEC title game when Georgia absolutely annihilated you, okay? Okay, look, Georgia has the best offensive line in college football, yes. But Auburn has one of the 5 or 6 best defensive lines in college football to me. With Derek Brown, with those boys up front, I think they'll exploit some things. Like Jake Fromm was not a great quarterback on the road. I mean, you saw him last year versus LSU. Look, it's hard for teams to go undefeated. It's hard for teams to win all these games. And I just think that Georgia's going to be in uncharted territory. I think Auburn's going to play really well. It's probably their biggest game at home outside of the Alabama game. I think Auburn's going to win. I just think that, sometimes you can't explain things. Was Purdue a better team than us last year? No. Is Georgia a better team than Auburn this year? Yes. But I just think that Auburn is going to be hyped for this game. I think they beat Georgia. Like I said, Kirby Smart struggles versus SEC West teams on the road. Now, is there potential you can lose this game? Definitely, yes. I'm going out on the limb. I'm picking the upset win here. But I just think that Auburn, by the time that happens, they're going to be at home. If they were at Georgia, I wouldn't pick this game. But Auburn made the game competitive versus Georgia last year in Georgia. I think they turn around this year and barely squeak out a win. You're obviously going to beat Sanford, but you'll lose to Alabama. I mean, don't even think about beating Alabama. Don't even think about it. They are the better team. Jerry Jeudy, the best wide receiver in college football. Tua Tagovailoa, while he does struggle versus good teams, Auburn is not going to be anywhere near a top. I think Auburn's a top 15 team, but they're not going to be like a Clemson. They're not going to be like a Georgia. I think that, look, they're just a better team. They're going to win that game. The last time they were at Auburn, they got blown out, okay? Alabama's going to run through most of their schedule this year. They're a ticked-off team. A ticked-off Alabama is one of the worst things in the world. You don't want to see that, okay? I think Auburn, look, you're not a better team than Alabama. They're going to beat you. They're just a better team. Jerry Jeudy's the best wide receiver in college football. They're going to have a good enough defense. Look, all right, so after all this talking and schedule breaking down, I have Auburn going 8-4 this year. I actually think this is a win because, honestly, I could see you losing to Georgia. I could see you losing to Florida. But I think you'll steal both of those games barely. I think you have enough talent in that roster to win 8 games. Now, I might go out on a limb. You know, you might miss a bowl game. I mean, you lost to Tennessee last year. But I just find it hard for Auburn's offense to be as bad as it was last year. Auburn's offense is very inconsistent. I think they'll be a little bit better this year. I think Darius Brown's going to have a monster year. He's going to be a top 10 pick. Your defensive line is very good. You're always going to run the ball pretty well. I think those new talented quarterbacks are actually pretty good. And I think you'll win some more games than you shouldn't. I just think you'll win some games you shouldn't win this year. That's just my reality. That's what I take away from Auburn's schedule this year. But hey, that's a wrap for this video. Be sure to like this video right now, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Turn the post notifications too so you don't miss a video. Auburn fans, do you think you're going to win 8 games? Do you think you can win more games? Can you beat Bama? Can you beat Georgia? I want to know. Let me know in the comment section. This has been your boy Ghiman Mckinney. Appreciate you guys for tuning in today, and I'm Ghost. Have a blessed day, you guys.